2 of the Open Championship, the fourth and final major of the PGA season. Man, what a day it was for Bryson DeChambeau today. Yesterday, not so much. Today came roaring back in a major way. We'll get into that later on in the show, but we want to be right where you are, Tolos, today, locally, right up the road in Spartanburg at Fifth Third Park, the brand new, beautiful, palatial haunts of the Hub City Spartanburgers, crushing it in their inaugural season. Cole Bryson on location, sitting beside Tyson Jeffers, the general manager of the Hub City Spartanburgers. Cole, take me into the scene and what's going on out there. You're about, what, an hour and a half away from gates open, and it's going to start getting busy.
Yeah, that's right. Tyson's already told me that when the gates open, I have to leave, so I don't cause any commotion or anything like that, right? Like, hey, you're out at 5:30. Gates open, Tyson, at
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Put you on the spot there.
Yeah, I almost forgot. As the time of our game changes, I have to remember all these things. It's too much.
He's the best in the biz.
7:05.
7:05.
There you go.
He absolutely is. He look, I asked him, Diesel kind of teased, and I think you heard me before we came on the air. I asked him, I said, do you get tired of doing these media interviews? And you said you don't, right?
I don't.
Not yet.
Talking to you guys.
Okay. Just want to make sure, you have a lot on your plate. So as Diesel said, we appreciate you hopping on with us for a few minutes. A little warmer than the last time we were here in April, but we're okay with it, right? Let me ask you this. Tyson Jeffers' favorite month of the year is what?
August.
Really?
That's my birthday month.
Okay.
I'm not one of those birthday people that celebrate it all month, but I do like a little sweat. It's a little saucy outside. I grew up in Mississippi. It's 100% humidity, 100 degrees. So I'm used to that. And that just reminds me, it takes me back to the good days.
Yeah.
Cole, I was half expecting you to pull a miscongeniality and say, Tyson, describe your perfect date. Tyson says June 15th, because all you need is a light jacket.
That's true. That's true. You never know. But look, man, it is warm. We're here, though. And speaking of warm, the Hub City Spartanburgers are on fire right now. I mean, this All-Star break is what I call it. Hopefully it didn't cool them off. But, Tyson, it's really interesting from a general manager point of view, your role, Tyson Jeffers, the GM, joining us right here on the Fan Upstate. You see this team every single night. Obviously, you have other obligations as well, but it seems like right before that break, this team was playing as good as baseball as they have all season.
Yeah, they really started to click. It seems like we had a period of time that we were very 500.
Yeah.
We're going in split series, and they finally figured out a way to start piecing multiple wins together and coming out with series wins, which is great. And that's what you want to see right now as we get into the back portion of the season and see how you can carry that through the end. And right now with the split season of the South Atlantic League, we have an opportunity to control our own destiny and get that last spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, but Tyson, they poured it on over these past 6 or 7 games, got themselves back to 2 games above 500. Great spot to be in your inaugural season. We're out there today to hopefully get some more people out to the ballpark. There's a big event happening today. It's Christmas in July at Fifth Third Park with Firework Friday, fireworks after the game. I just want to know from you, Tyson, who's the Christmas starts the day after Halloween person in your family? Because every family's got one. Really? You skip Thanksgiving? You're that guy? Oh. Right. Really? So, Tyson, we've had a couple of chances to bring you on the show, and you've told us about some of the great promotions that you've overseen at your various stops in your career. You told us once about a food fight where they had to host an event the next morning, and that was a big problem. Tell us about some of the other special events that you've had this year that you're exceptionally proud of, that have gone really well, and maybe one or two that are still coming up.
In a couple weeks, we have Baseball is for Everyone, so that's focused. We're working with the Carolina Miracle League. That one's just really special to make sure that we're highlighting that baseball as a platform to bring joy and happiness to all different types of people. And on that night, we will be retiring our first number of all time, and which is number 21,
Wow.
Jake Berger, the Texas Ranger.
How
His
about
daughter,
that?
Penelope, was born with Down syndrome, which is why he wears number 21. We love that story. Obviously, we share name of the Burgers.
Yeah.
So we wanted to highlight him and his story. So that one's going to be really special. This one's always a fun one. And then, there's been a lot that, honestly, this is where my memory is like so short term that it's like, oh, we did it. All right, got to move on to the next one.
For sure.
Looking back, it feels like every night has been pretty special in its own way. We've learned a lot of lessons this first year. And, for us is making sure the last third of the season, we crush it and then roll into looking at 2026 to bring it and make it even better than the first year.
Well, you have crushed it. Your entire team has, and we hope one day that when you're the general manager of the Texas Rangers, you remember us little folks, right? It's tonight as Christmas in July at Fifth Third Park. If you just tuned in to the Fan Upstate, we appreciate you being with us on this Friday. Hub City Spartanburgers in action tonight after a little bit of a break. Coming to a Spartanburg game, Tyson's all about having fun with your family, affordable price, great hospitality, and high-level baseball with a brand new state-of-the-art facility that we've talked about that we're sitting at right now. And this team, you know what's made it so fun is that at points of the season have been really, really good. What is it, from a general manager standpoint, what has it been like to make relationships with Chad Calmer, the manager, the players? Because obviously a lot of things you do is high level, but I'm sure you're involved with a lot of the day-to-day stuff as well.
Yeah, it's been great. Chad was just in my office yesterday. We were chatting, catching back up after his break and taking some time off, which I know he appreciated and the players appreciated, but just looking at the rest of the season and how everything's going to flow, again, how we can improve as our organization and their home to play baseball and making sure that we're providing the facilities that they need to put out a really great product on the field. Fifth Third Park for all of our fans.
For sure.
Tyson, what was the break like for you? I mean, did you get time off either, or is the life of an executive for a baseball club, is there ever a vacation?
Vacations in the off season.
Yeah. Okay.
So, once we win the championship, then I'll take a little bit of time off and decompress.
I like that. I really do. My favorite night, I'll tell you this, these last year, your favorite night, I have not been to, obviously, as many games as you have, being here every day. But I've been to a good many. A lot of my friends have tickets, so I get invited all the time. I've seen you at several. The Cole Swindell concert was incredible here at Fifth Third Park. But my favorite was the Toby Keith night.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
I'm a big country music guy. And obviously, he passed away not long ago, right? Y'all had the red solo cups, the fireworks to the Toby Keith songs. That was one of my probably my favorite. Well, it'll be tough to top that one.
Yeah, that one was really good. I know one of my favorites. It felt the most electric in here was when we did our Taylor Swift Mike Berger era night. And I know there's probably people listening like, I kind of said the same thing. But the layers that went into that and like the engagement of everyone in their seats while fireworks were going, Taylor Swift was playing is like. There's probably tears in people's eyes, and that's fun.
It is, especially for Diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel loved it.
I'm going to be out there tomorrow. I know, like tonight, we want to get as many people out to the ballpark tonight. You said 7:05 first pitch. Is that right? Okay, 7:05 first pitch. What's going on tomorrow? Like, what can I expect tomorrow?
So you can wear your Boy Scout uniform. It is Scout Night. You can break that out of your closet.
It still fits. I'll squeeze into it.
Wear it, please. If you wear it, we'll actually let you sleep on the fields in a tent with the rest of the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts.
Are they doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
After the field, there'll be Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops out there with their tents going, and we'll play something on the video board to keep them entertained. But then,
Are you not scared of Lord of the Flies at Fifth Third Park?
that would be a great promotion.
It would be. I want to ask you about the community aspect of it from Spartanburg's standpoint, because I was talking to Ian about 15 minutes ago, and he was talking about when they go on the road, like to all of the different visiting sites, right? And he told me that they've realized very quickly how special this is, because when they go on the road, as you know, it's not always the same. So from a community aspect, obviously with it being in its first season, it's going to have that buzz, that draw. But what have you taken away as the general manager from talking to people in the community, fans, your staff, Chad, the players, that's made this first year as part of the community so special?
I think the most common theme and the most common word is pride, and making sure that we're doing things that represent the community and the community's proud of. And right now they're very proud to have this facility here to wear, the team colors, to wear the team across their chest, those types of things. And making sure that, as called, the honeymoon wears off a little bit, and the facility itself ages a little bit, that we're continuing to create a product both on the field and off the field that makes people proud, makes people excited, keeps people happy. That's the ultimate goal.
And I'm gonna piggyback off of that as a follow-up question real quick. I was literally an hour and a half ago sitting with somebody talking about that exact thing in terms of what happens after year one. From your experience, having done this before, and is it Diamond Baseball Holdings? I'm sure they're no stranger to this, but when you do exit year one, does Diamond Baseball Holdings and you guys, do you have a plan in place to figure out how to make sure that honeymoon phase doesn't happen?
Yeah. There's a lot of conversations that go into the off season. So really, when the season ends, we flip the switch of 2026, and we sit down as a staff and start analyzing what we did well, what we didn't do well, where we can grow, and understanding how this facility operates. We have a lot of opportunity to go and do that, and to make things bigger and better, especially from the promotion and the fan side of things, and the experiences that we can create. We can do things so much better. We can be more creative. We can unveil new identities potentially, hint, hint. So there's a lot coming down the pipeline, and we're going to make sure that it stays fun, and we're continuing to deliver smiles to everyone that steps in this ballpark.
Tyson, one of my favorite things about that park, and we got to see it just before opening day, were some of the elements that you had built into the concourses, the playgrounds, the climbable murals, the splash pads, all those sorts of things. Like, what areas so far this season have you seen kind of as the focal points where a lot of people really are gravitating towards a certain spot? Are they the spots that you expected to be the gravitational pulls, or has some element kind of surprised you?
Yeah, one that you mentioned was the kid zone, and that was very intentional of, leaning into the grain district, because that's where the ballpark sits, and having the big grain silo that kids can climb into. And visually, it's just something that is a wow moment for people as they walk in. So family-oriented stuff like that. The berm has been an unbelievable hit. I think there's been some education, and that's the grassy knoll that's over the outfield wall. It's awesome looking out there on a Friday, Saturday, and busy nights, and it's just full of people with their blankets laid out, and they're just casually watching baseball. I think that's what it's all about, is to be able to come in, get a cheap ticket, on a non-Friday and Saturday. They're $5. It's like there's really taking away the barrier entry for people, and making sure that they have the ability to come in and enjoy their time with us. And I think that's what is special when you look out there and there's kids running around trying to get outfield, get balls from the outfielder and stuff like that. That's fun.
Do you think that's a part of, kind of to answer the question that I asked you a minute ago about evolving and continuing to make sure that the honeymoon phase doesn't happen? You talk about making it affordable, $5 tickets. In a city like Spartanburg, as a general manager, do you ever think about or have discussions about how to continue to make this place affordable for people who are underprivileged and don't have the same upbringing that a lot of people do, and where they can afford a $20, $30 $40 ticket or go to the Milliken Club. Is that in the vision? Because, as much as we hate to say it, there are parts of Spartanburg County that are very underprivileged.
Yeah. And it's making sure that, as a community organization and what we hope is looked at as a community park is making sure that we're creating that accessibility.
Yeah.
And whether that's in the promotions that we create and being able to go invite those groups to come in and celebrate something special, or it's offering value throughout the entire season that someone could always latch onto, whether that's the ticket or it's a food item or a beverage item or whatever it is, making sure that we always have value for people to go and select. So that's always it's always going to be a priority for us, and making sure that we continue that year 2 through year, hopefully 100.
Sure.
Yeah, Tyson, excited for the fans, the first 1,000 fans that get in there tonight, get themselves a Hub City SPARTANBURGERS Christmas ornament. That's the Christmas in July promotion happening tonight. What does this ornament look like? Is there something special built into the design that people are going to have to come and get this year? And then do you plan on doing this in years in the future so that each time they got to come back for Christmas in July and get that year's unique ornament?
Yeah, I would say this year it's not super unique. We do have a green and a red one, but it just has our logo printed on it.
Do what? Is it a secret?
No.
Okay.
No, there's both. You can get either one.
Gotcha. Sorry.
But I love that idea. We should do that. We should get it. It's like you've seen those bobblehead series that you can connect them all together. We should do our Christmas July ornaments, and it builds Fifth Third Park and chucks floating above it or something.
Like a transformer. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Tyson, my last question for you before we let you go. I know you've got a lot going on. We appreciate your time. Spartanburg, we've talked about that, the community aspect. But winning, is at the end of the day what you want to do. Chad Comer's done an exceptional job. Can you talk about how fortunate you've been, the community's been, to have a guy like Chad in and the players? I mean, you could have a first-year team that's no good, that sucks. Spartanburg hadn't had that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of been a added bonus, added value that the team's been really good at times this year. What goes into that? How does a team in its first season become as good as Spartanburg's been this year?
A lot of that has to do with the Rangers player development guys and what they're looking at and seeing in their system and putting them in the right spots to be successful. And Chad's a huge part in that. And Chad's personality, how he manages all of those things, both on and off the field, are top tier. And so we're really fortunate to have Chad at the helm and controlling this team out on the field, and he's done an amazing job. And I think he'll continue to do an amazing job over the rest of the season and hopefully into the playoffs and hopefully into the future. He's a guy that you want to keep working with year in and year out, knowing that his goal is to continue to move up as well. So I want to see him be successful and continue to move on also.
Tyson, always great bringing you on, and I'll look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow night. I'll keep my eyes peeled for you.
I do want to get to this text real quick.
Okay.
I apologize. I just saw this. One of the texts, Tyson, on the Hub City SpartanBurgers text line says, question for Tyson, when will the Rangers World Series trophy be visiting Fifth Third Park?
So we actually did a Rangers World Series trophy visit. When was it? It would have been in August of 24. So it was before we even really existed.
Gotcha.
And so we did that. It came to Spartanburg, and we showcased it. We would love to get it back.
Well, let's me and you go get it.
Yeah, we should. We'll just drive over to Arlington, and we'll grab it and come back. But that's a great question, and it's something that we should work on with the Rangers to see if we can get that back. And now that we have the facility to host it with lots of people, we can bring it in for a game and get people out.
Well, as Diesel said, to echo what he said, we appreciate you allowing us to be here and be a part of it, and the sponsorship element of us and you guys and partnership. We really do appreciate you, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Tyson Jeffers, general manager of the Hub City SpartanBurgers. Diesel, he did tell me off the record that you are not allowed in the ballpark tomorrow now.
Okay, well, I'll have to put on a hat and/or glasses. If it works for Superman, it'll work for me, and I'll figure out how to get in.
Let's do it. Let's continue the conversation. Chad Comer set to join us next right here on the Fan Upstate.
Unfiltered sports insanity on Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan.
Christmas in July at Fifth Third Park in Spartanburg. Welcome into Wire to Wire. He is Diesel back in the Ingles Market Studios. I'm Cole Bryson. So good to be with you on this Friday afternoon. It's warm. However, we're under the awning, I guess you will, on the concourse level here at Fifth Third Park. So if you, Tolos and Spartanburg, are heading out to the SPARTANBURGERS game tonight, please come by and say hello. We're here until the show is over. It's a beautiful day, a hot one, but a beautiful day, and Christmas in July. So much going on tonight. If you are one of the first 1,000 fans through the gate tonight, you'll get a Christmas ornament from the Hub City Spartanburgers. Diesel, I was told it's a pickle. So if you want a pickle on your Christmas tree, you can be a you can be. I don't know why that sounded weird, but it did. You can come get a pickle tonight.
Is that a euphemism, Cole? Or are you just happy to see me?
I don't know. I don't know why that turned into a weird segment there. Chad Comer is going to join us here, hopefully in a few minutes. We were told 3:20, 3:24, or 3:25-ish. So hopefully we can effort Chad Comer. Look, he's busy. He's the manager. He's down there, chewing out the players and getting them ready, I'm sure, for tonight's game against Brooklyn. So Diesel tonight, they're playing Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a part of the Atlantic League North.
Yes, the South Atlantic League North.
That's right. So there's a South Atlantic League North and a South Atlantic League South. I've probably for 2 months thought that Wilmington was just North Carolina. However, it's not. I was informed that it's Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, Delaware.
A little bit different than Wilmington, North Carolina.
I know literally one fact about Delaware. That's where Joe Biden was from. And outside of that, I know nothing about Delaware.
I've been there one time, and I think you can literally drive through in 44 seconds.
It's the size of Greenville County?
It might be. But nonetheless, a beautiful day here in Spartanburg. Tolos, if you're making your way out to Fifth Third Park, want to see you later tonight. If you're not, you should do so. I'm sure there's still tickets available to come out and see some Spartanburgers baseball tonight as the Spartanburgers are back in action after a little bit of break. We do have Chad Comer making his way over to join us on the Fan Upstate. But it's going to cool off a little bit. By 7 o'clock tonight, 7:05 first pitch, it may drop 1 degree or so, and it's going to be a beautiful night for baseball as we're joined by Chad Comer, the manager.
Sorry, I'm all sweaty.
Well, you should be.
Action.
You should be. It's a little bit warm outside. I appreciate you hopping on with us as always. Diesel back in the Ingles Market Studios. We'll bounce some questions off of you.
He's got the AC, huh?
It's nice.
He's got the AC, man.
I'd love to be at a ballpark, but man, this 70 degrees in the studio feels nice.
Yeah, it's a little warmer out here right now.
Chad, I asked Tyson Jeffers a few minutes ago, favorite time of the year, and I'm going to ask you the same thing for the manager, Chad Comer. What's your favorite time of the year?
Well, obviously baseball season, but
good answer.
I love the fall weather. Like, as it's starting to change, get into that winter time, and then I'm definitely fall. Winter time is my favorite time of year.
Because we talked about hunting, remember that?
Exactly. Yep. No doubt. So that's got to be my favorite time of year. Get to get back around the family and stuff. So really enjoyable.
So, Chad, what would you point to over the last 5, 6, 7 games that was that spark, that turnaround? Because there was a period where the Spartanburgers were up above 500 in a good spot to be, and then had a little bit of a tough stretch, and then have rallied back over these past 8, 9 games. What happened over those last couple of games? What did you guys find, and how do you sort of reignite that spark now that you've had a break?
Yeah, just it's been fun playing a really good brand of team baseball. We've been playing good defense. Bats have kind of come alive and been scoring some runs to support that pitching staff that's done a really good job for us all year. And so just really the holistic approach that we're able to put together these last few days going to the All-Star break, it's been really fun.
For those out there that are listening in the upstate, Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson today that haven't made a game yet, some names that they can expect to hear as you guys are really heating up like the weather, right? If they were to come to a game maybe tonight or in the next few days, who have been the players that have just been Mr. Consistent for the Spartanburgers in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, as of late, Jose Gonzalez, the way he's thrown the ball on the mound, it's been fun to watch. He goes out there every Sunday, takes the ball, gives us 5, 7 innings, keeps us right in the game. He's been extremely consistent all year, and he's been fun to watch. And then, offensively, the Malcolm Moore, Dylan Dreiling, all those guys that are still here. Obviously, Malcolm's back from his injury and has been back in the lineup with us, so he's been exciting to see. And then, we added John Taylor from Independent Ball. He's been a little spark plug for us in the lineup each night. So, just the whole group as well has been a lot of fun.
Chad, talk about the series that you're kicking off tonight. Brooklyn, real good baseball team. They're playing really good ball up there in the northern part of the South Atlantic League. What's in the water up in the north part of this league? Because there's 3, 4, 5-ish, some odd 50-plus win teams right now.
Yeah, there's some really good clubs up there, and this is another good one. Just the way they swing the bats pretty well. It's when you look at their stats, obviously we haven't had a chance to play them yet, but they've put together a really nice offensive year. They've pitched the ball well as well, and then they run the bases. They've got some guys with a lot of stolen bases also, so it'll be a good club, and it'll be fun to play in these 3 games before we go up there for a set of 6.
Chad, as the manager of the Spartanburgers, you go into last week's break, right, and you're refocusing. What was your message to the team in terms of, I'm sure you've seen things that you can improve on, things that you've liked out of the team thus far in the first half, but what was your message to this team?
Yeah, I think more than anything it was, hey, take a few days and get away. They've been going all year, like you said, playing some really good baseball going into it. So more than anything, get away from it for a few days, unwind a little bit, refresh your body, and come back ready to go in the same sense that we were in before we left. So that was really it. But more than anything, take a little downtime right there, spend some time with family. Like guys kind of scatter. We had some guys go back to the Dominican, Florida, Georgia, just kind of all over the place, and then some that stayed here. So, but take the time to get away for a little bit before we make this last stretch here.
Chad, when we talk about the Hub City Spartanburgers, we talk about really good baseball. We talk about a beautiful park there at Fifth Third Park. And we also talk about how amazing the food is, the food program that Tyson Jeffers and company have put together. We've talked about the fried pizza that is for sale inside the concourse. I don't know how many times you've chowed down on that fried pizza, but outside of the stadium, where's the best pizza you've found so far in Spartanburg?
I'm pretty simple. My wife and I, we typically order Papa John's whenever we're getting pizza. But there's another spot, I think it's Venus Pie.
Yeah, downtown.
Oh,
Venus
it's great.
Pies, they cater us in some food, and like their calzones that we get, they're like the size of it's like a full pizza folded in half. So the guys love it, but it's been they've been great for us whenever they cater, and just really good quality calzone there that we get.
For sure. Chad, you obviously see this team more than anybody, the ins and the outs, the strengths and the weaknesses. When we watch college baseball, when we watch professional baseball, we see managers go from, the normal style of baseball to a little small ball here and there. When you're coaching at this level, how often do you find yourself in the adjustment mode of trying to play a little bit to your strengths, or maybe even sometimes throughout the course of the year playing a little small ball?
Yeah, I think you kind of see where the club's at, where we're swinging it offensively, where you at in the lineup, some different things, because also part of the development process is these guys, they are going to have to know how to sack bunt. They are going to have to know how to move runners and that type of stuff when they get to the big leagues, because you might be hitting in the 3-4 hole here, and then your first day in the big leagues, you're in the 8-9 hole, and coach asks you to put down a bunt in a big situation. You got to be able to do it. So finding the spots to get those in, and then just kind of what the game's telling us as we're going.
Coach, we've been talking SEC media days here on this show now all week long, and fans have been giving Auburn's head football coach Hugh Freeze a hard time for breaking away from his duties as a coach, out there playing golf instead of drilling down on football. How do you get away from the game of baseball? What do you like to do that just takes you out of that headspace, and how often do you need to do that as part of your process?
Well, luckily we're afforded, that Monday off day every single week. So usually on those days, my wife and I, we're staying out on a lake here in Chesney, and it's a nice little setup. So, yep, right there on it. Yeah, found a nice furnish finder place, and so we're staying out there. And so we usually cook out and then just hang out outside and enjoy the evening. And then obviously as the day comes to a close, you're getting ready for Tuesday. So get in early Tuesday and get ready to rock and roll after that.
Not much of a break. Chad, as always, we appreciate your time, man. And speaking of those hobbies, once the season's over, you and I will have to, I don't know if I told you, I think I did. I'm in a club in Arkansas. Yeah. We'll have to get out there and knock some ducks down.
I'd love that. That'd be awesome for sure. Appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Chad.
Chad Comer, the manager of the Hub City Spartanburgers. You heard him right here on the Fan Upstate. Appreciate Ian and those guys lining that up for us. You know he's right, though, Diesel, because you think about it, this team, it's a grind. Like, they have 1 day off a week, and just imagine the responsibilities he has to take on every single day, plus the fact that, oh, by the way, on your 1 day off, you're playing the next day. It's a lot, man.
Yeah, you think back to the movies that we used to watch as kids, the baseball movies about the grind of being a major leaguer. Well, it's that much harder as a minor leaguer because you're not traveling in the lap of luxury on chartered flights. You're hopping on a bus and driving a long way from place to place. I'm sure it's heck of a lot better than it used to be. And we've got a couple of Tolos that I know of that played minor league ball. They'd probably tell you, man, those guys are living in the lap of luxury compared to what we experienced. But I mean, it is a nonstop grind. Yeah,
it's getting better, to your point, Diesel. But I'll tell you this: going back to in the 30 minutes we've been on the air, what Tyson said, what Chad said, and you'll see tomorrow, Diesel. It's a special place, and I'll tell you, from the perspective of somebody that was born literally just a couple of miles, not even a couple of miles away from where I'm sitting right now. This place is something that is Spartanburg needed. And look, not to say that Spartanburg didn't have, cool places before, because downtown is continuing to get better and better. But when you come out to these games and you walk up into the Milliken Club, as I have, and you see people that you've known forever and you're friends with, it is so cool to see in a little old town like Spartanburg. Going back to what Tyson said, it's big for something like this, and there's a lot of places that don't have it as nice as Fifth Third Park. A lot of these places that they go on and see during the course of the season. So if you're out there listening, I'll just tell you this: don't take this for granted, because this is an exceptional park that Spartanburg should be proud of.
How often do you find yourself bringing people by the park, talking about the park, as a point of pride, being a Greenville resident? I know, that I've done that for the ball club down here. We won't talk about them. How often do you do that as a Spartanburg resident?
Yeah, it's funny you ask that, Diesel, because this morning, for example, I was a mile from where I'm sitting getting my hair cut this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the people in the barbershop that I go to in downtown Spartanburg, shout out Grant, we were talking about it, and he hadn't been to a game yet. The other barber there hadn't been to a game yet, and it was the people who were getting their hair cut. We were all telling them how awesome of an experience it is. So even though it's been the hottest ticket in town, there's still a lot of people that hadn't been to a game yet here at Fifth Third Park. So to answer your question, I find myself doing it almost every day. I mean, regardless of where you are, I wear a lot of the hats and the gear and stuff that have the Spartanburgers logo on there, and man, this has happened quick. I mean, you think a year and 3 months ago, or a year and 4 months ago, you and I were literally right here, downtown Spartanburg, when they announced the name. Maybe, what was that? Was that May of 2024 or something like that?
Sounds about right. And the stadium at the time was basically still a pit. I mean, there was a little bit of structure up for the grandstands, but not a lot else.
No, nothing at all. And so, my point is, man, it's happened quick. And what's crazy is we're almost in August. It's July 18th. This season has gone by so fast. I mean, they play 2 weeks in September, and they're done. And it has gone by fast. And I was talking to somebody the other day about it with Greenville having the drive, Diesel, that you mentioned, and Spartanburg having the burgers. Maybe people at the drive looked at it as maybe a little bit of a threat. I'm not putting words in their mouth, but ultimately, I think it's good for the Upstate to have two teams. You can want to be the only show in town, but ultimately, you want to have that competition. So anybody out there who thinks, oh, well, Greenville had their team and Spartanburg's just trying to outdo them, I don't look at it that way. I think it's better. I think it's better to have two teams. It breeds competition, and it breeds a friendly rivalry, Diesel. Years ago there was only one radio station in town, and now you talk about 3, 4, 5, 6 sports radio stations in town. I look at it as a good thing. It makes us all better, and if there were a third, if there were another one in Anderson, which I don't think there will be anytime soon, but I don't look at it as a negative. I think both of them can play off of each other. But right now, it's just so cool to see what Spartanburg's done.
I caution to say that having the University of North Carolina and having NC State and having Duke University all within like 12 miles of one another has been a good thing for their athletic departments.
100%.
It's sure could you possibly look at it and say it's pulling advertising dollars away from one or the other? Are they competing with one another? Yeah, but that competition breeds excitement and it gets more and more and more people interested in it, and it's such a good thing that people who are Greenville fans, they'll drive up to Spartanburg because they want to see, is that stadium really nicer than Fluor Field? Yes, it is. And they have to go see it for themselves.
To your point, I'll tell you this. You talk about Greenville, Spartanburg, the upstate. We talk about it a lot on this show, being one of the fastest growing areas. You can go and look on lists anywhere you want to. And just about every year, Diesel, we see a new list come out that shows Greenville and even Spartanburg as the fastest growing small town in America, right? So my whole thing is that if you're talking about this place being one of the fastest growing towns in America, which it is, even Spartanburg, this is only, having two teams is good because, you have to have attractions. You have to have things that attract new people. And I'll tell you what, 15, 20 years ago, I would have never thought, even 10 years ago, I would have never thought that we'd have something like this. So, again, just want to say thanks to Tyson, Ian, Chad, everybody at the Spartanburgers organization. We'll have Ian Unsworth, the broadcast media director at 420, but they've just been so exceptional, and it's been a fun year, and I hope it continues to go that way.
Speaking of 420, coming up at 420, so just 40 minutes from right now, your fifth and final chance this week to score two-day general admission passes for Rock the Country at Anderson Sports and Entertainment Complex next Friday and Saturday with Kid Rock and Nickelback. Your chance to win those coming up at 420. But on the other side of the break, Cole, I talked about it earlier. Bryson DeChambeau had a huge day, brought himself back from the brink, gave himself a way to play for the rest of the weekend, but he did not have the biggest, most monstrous round of the day. Who was it? Who now sits firmly in the lead? We'll talk about it next. I mean, there's a chance if Bryson DeChambeau plays tomorrow and Sunday the way he played today, that he could put himself back into contention because, oh my God, what a day Bryson DeChambeau had out at the Open. Went from a 78 plus 7 yesterday to a 6 under 65 today. The biggest mover on the leaderboard jumped 94 spots to tied for 50th, which doesn't sound good, but he made the cut, and that's what matters. What a huge day for Bryson.
I'll tell you this, man. I don't know. Again, I'm not a golf historian, but go and do the research and find a major where somebody shot 13 strokes better in round 2 than they did in round 1. Like you and I were sitting there yesterday saying, this dude's not going to make the cut. Like he's on the outside looking in. And then Diesel, for him to do what he did today, do you realize that I woke up this morning and looked, and I was like, oh my God, they're already done. He shot a 65 today. That is insane.
Crazy. He had 10 pars, 7 birdies, and 1 bogey on the course today. The only bogey he had came on the par 4 11th. But man, the dude was on fire.
I wonder what he learned from yesterday to today. If it was distance that he was trying so hard on his because he's a big distance guy. I don't know. I'd like to go back and listen to some of his audio post round 2. But this dude, I mean, you talk about 94 spots. You don't see that. And I know there's a lot of log jams, right, in that first day, and you can make big jumps. But still, that was incredible. Now all of a sudden, he's gone from missing the cut to making the cut. So if he does close to this 2 times in a row, I mean, we're talking about top 25, top 10 finish for Bryson.
Dewey texts in and says Bryson DeChambeau sucks. I'm not going to debate you on his personality because I don't care for his personality, but I clicked on his scorecard for today, and I don't know who's in charge of updating player cards on ESPN.com, but this photo of Bryson that they have there looks like every bit of 40 pounds lighter and like it was taken 10 years ago. I mean, he looks like an infant by comparison to what he looks like today.
How about this, Diesel? This puts things in perspective. Think about this. Even though he's still, T50 right now, Rory McIlroy is T12. So in contention.
Yep.
You know that Bryson DeChambeau is only 4 shots behind Rory McIlroy?
Yeah.
That is incredible. So even though he's T50, you want to talk about a log jam. He plays this well again. Tommy Fleetwood also moved up. Akshay Bhatia, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler also. Lucas Glover didn't. He dropped 17 spots. Wyndham Clark moved up 93 spots from yesterday. All of a sudden, you're seeing in day 2 of this tournament, the best golfers are starting to make their way back to the top.
And that's what shocks me is when you look at, just the players who had the best rounds today, inside that top 15 or so players that played the best today, most of them are Americans, which that's what surprises me is you don't see all the Brits. I mean, there's a few of them in there, right? But you would think that the Brits and the Northern Irish players who grew up playing in these conditions would be ready for it. They'd be prepared for it. I know these guys are pros, and I know they play these types of courses, but playing a links course is kind of equivalent to a road course in NASCAR. Yeah, they all do it. Yeah, a lot of them grew up running road courses here and there throughout their careers, but they weren't born and bred on it, right? This isn't what they're used to. And the conditions out there were pretty rough today. High winds, lots of rain. Scotty Scheffler, though, had the best round today at 7 under. So he goes 68, 64 in his first 2 rounds. And look, we said it. Bryson could put together 3 epic days in a row, but Bryson has been wildly inconsistent. So I don't have a ton of faith that Bryson finishes a whole lot better than where he is, sort of top 50. because he can go up and down, but Scotty goes 68-64. Brian Harmon goes 69-65. Matt Fitzpatrick goes 67-66. So being able to string back good days in a row where you're sitting roughly 4 or 5 under each day is probably the ticket in these conditions to win.
Diesel, I'll tell you this. My opinion, this tournament's over.
Oh, really?
It's over. Yeah, Scotty's won it. It's over. Scotty's won it. He's been so consistent in the first 2 rounds that he's going to have to absolutely choke on a you-know-what in order not to win this thing. I'm just saying, it's over. He's won this thing. And unless we see the epic Scotty Scheffler meltdown, Scotty Scheffler will be the Open champion because he's played – you talk about consistency. He's played 2 better rounds than anybody. I'm interested, though, man. I hate that I can't watch most of it unless I want to wake up at 1 a.m., and watch this thing. But it is what it is, right? It's going to be interesting, though. Diesel, let's transition and talk something that we haven't talked much in the last couple of weeks. Let's talk a little NFL. And we did this a couple of weeks ago with college football, but I want to do it with the NFL. And Tolos, I want to get you involved in this next segment at 844-326-3663. We did this with college football. Let's do it with the NFL. What are the 5 biggest storylines heading into the NFL season and specifically heading into training camp, which starts, by the way, next week? That's next. is that attracts you and I to sports, whether it be high school, college, or pro, are the storylines, the biggest stories in the sport. And Diesel and I have spent a lot of time talking this week, especially about the SEC in college football. But we haven't spent the most time, or much time rather, discussing the other side of that coin, being the National Football League. A few weeks ago, we did a countdown to kickoff for college football, discussing the biggest storylines in college football. And it's time we focus our attention in this very segment on the NFL, on the National Football League, and discuss the biggest storylines in the National Football League. Tolos, Diesel and I, we do enjoy doing segments between the two of us, but we enjoy them a lot more when you are a part of the show. You can be a part of the show right now at 844-326-3663. That's 844-FAN phone. We encourage you to be a part of this very segment by letting us know what the biggest storylines are in your mind in the NFL. We'll somehow, some way narrow it down to a few. There are so many. And Diesel, I'm going to give you the floor first. When you look at the storylines, whether it be Travis Hunter in Jacksonville, right? The Giant, or excuse me, the Cleveland Browns and the 19 quarterbacks they have on their roster, the Detroit Lions with their coordinators being gone, and now J.J. McCarthy potentially in Minnesota. There's so many to choose from, but when I say to you, NFL storylines, where does the mind of Diesel go first?
I look at a couple different things. I look at, is this a passing of the torch from the Chiefs possibly to the Eagles as far as who's going to be the most dominant team over the next maybe 2 or 3 seasons? I look at, can this be the year that a number 1 pick actually performs like a number 1 pick? Because obviously we didn't have that last year with Caleb Williams. We didn't have that the year before with the quarterback there at Carolina and Bryce Young. So,
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting, but Santa just walked in.
Santa!
Come in the stream, Santa.
Oh my God. Santa's here.
This way.
So this is what Santa Claus dresses like when it's not Christmas time.
Santa just walked in, and I completely interrupted Diesel. Say, hey, Diesel, Santa. Say,
Diesel?
Hey, he can't hear me. Yeah, I can hear him. He obviously can't hear me.
He just can't hear you.
Because he doesn't have a headset on.
Hold on, I get him a headset. When Santa comes, we stop what we're doing. Santa, can you throw this on real quick?
Yeah.
Throw this on.
So
we're putting you on the
Cole just said ho 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 ho. So is ho 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 like aloha? Does it have multiple meanings? Does it mean Merry Christmas? Yeah.
Look at him. Look at Santa.
Check out my shirt. I grew up on a dairy farm in Pennsylvania. We skated on farm ponds.
Wait a minute. Santa grew up in What?
Oops.
Santa grew up in Pennsylvania.
Oops.
So Santa's more of a title than it is like a hereditary spot.
Potentially.
Okay.
So,
fill it in the gap.
how'd you find the upstate, Santa?
How did I find
The
upstate as in being in
Are you a resident of the upstate now?
I am.
Spartanburg, Greenville, which one?
Taylor's?
Taylor's? Are you a Tolo?
A what?
There you go. See, we don't. All right.
I'm actually ho second ship Santa at Haywood Mall, 3 to close.
No way.
4th year.
All right, so Diesel and I are going to explain to you. We're the fan upstate, as you can see, 3 to 7 every day. Sports. You know what sports are?
Yes.
Okay, Santa. I just want to make sure. Tolo. Our goal today is to make Santa a Tolo. So we're on 97.7 FM in Greenville and Taylor's.
Define a Tolo.
Okay, Tolo. Our motto at the station is for our listeners in the upstate to turn it on and leave it on. Tolo, turn on, leave on. That's what our core listeners that listen all day, that's what they are, Tolos.
Yeah.
So how do we get Santa to become a Tolo?
I'll turn it on.
And leave it on.
It's good.
There you go, Diesel.
Does the sleigh have streaming capabilities? Because I know as you're flying around all over the world. Yeah.
We have to, the FAA required ADSB, so I have to have it I mean,
There you
sometimes
go.
there's a fighter escort, United States Air Force,
Yeah.
or maybe the Navy, depending on the location. But yeah, have to be able to be tracked.
Is Santa a sports fan, by the way?
Yeah, what would normally take me to a minor league game would be to sing the national anthem. So I showed up at auditioning at the second floor of the fancy Marriott for public address announcer. I've been told I have a good voice, but came away with the veteran who sang the national anthem.
You do have a good voice, by the way.
I've sang the national anthem here 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm another character, Steve the conductor in pinstripe bib overalls, but look like an engineer. So, and just get this. The guy in entertainment at Floor Field wouldn't answer my emails. So I was destined to be at Fifth Third Park. Destiny.
Wow.
He would not answer emails or phone calls. No wrong with that.
Well, I hope there's no little kids listening to the show because they'd be real confused about Santa Claus, conductors. They don't know what that means.
That's true. Santa, you were walking by. We grabbed you. By the way, you do have a great radio voice.
That's what I've been told.
You do.
Yeah.
Better than us. Maybe we can go home and
Santa's got to learn next year when they don't have a public address, they don't have an announcer for American Legion baseball.
There you go.
The Golden Strip Warriors there, post 271 in Malden.
Do you? Oh, well, that's where Diesel is.
I live in Malden, yeah.
I'll train to be an announcer.
Do you think you could talk sports 4 hours a day, Santa?
Me? No, I'd have to learn about sports to be knowledgeable. I'd have to become knowledgeable.
Well, that's what the internet's for, Santa.
Well,
We'll teach you about the internet next
Ask
time.
our audience. They might say we're not all that knowledgeable either.
That's right. That's right. Santa, we appreciate your guest
Can
appearance.
I sing a quick song? For the...
I'm not going to stop you.
Ready? Here we go.
There we go.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Ho, ho, ho.
Everyone out there, Merry Christmas.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Bells on. Come on.
That's it.
Santa is making his appearance. Let's get one picture together, Santa.
Wow. I'll be up on the dugout for the 7th inning, doing the 7th inning stretch.
That was incredible. So is that your favorite song? Your favorite Christmas song?
It is.
You don't like
No. As far as the ball game goes,
No, I'm
getting up on the dugout and leading the crowd to this, take me out to the ball game on the 7th inning stretch.
But I'm saying your favorite Christmas song. Your Santa. Grandma got ready with the reindeer.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. That's top 10.
What is your number one, though?
Well, it would have to be one that Bing Crosby sings.
Ooh,
He sings "Dum Dum to Me." I'm dreaming of a white. And you know, we had a dusting of snow this past winter. 2 previous winters, there were no snowflakes. And I'm not talking about people snowflakes around.
Oh, you can't make this up. This is really happening.
I've been told I'm a humorous guy.
You are.
So,
Anything else before you leave us?
no, it's nice to meet you
Good
today.
to meet you. I'm Cole.
I'll be around. I'll be in the neighborhood. Down here in a chair.
Santa has made his first time ever, to my knowledge.
Inaugural season at the Hubs at Fifth Third Park.
We love it. It's good to meet you, Santa.
Nice to meet you again.
How about that? That just literally happened, Diesel. No lie. You can't make this stuff up.
JD says it's almost like Rick and Greer called because this show is off the rails.
It did go off the rails. But when Santa walks by, you sometimes things go off the rails.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to remind, Santa Claus that Mrs. Claus is waiting at home. Sometimes you got to tell him to stay in character. And that's the hard part.
You're right. That Santa has a great personality. And I mean, the Santa, if there are any kids listening in the upstate of South Carolina, that was the Santa. Santa is real, and that was him.
Well, he's real, that's for sure. That guy.
That was incredible. How do you go back? What were we talking about?
We were talking about storylines in the NFL that we're excited about.
Santa just walked up. And you were talking about the passing of the torch, Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs, Eagles, passing the torch. I was talking about, is this year the year that we finally see a number 1 quarterback play like it? Because we didn't get that the past 2 seasons. Aaron Rodgers, does he have any magic in that old silk hat they found to keep it Christmas? There's a lot of different interesting things going on in the NFL this year.
There are. So let's start with that one. I like that you brought up the Eagles and the Chiefs with the passing of the torch. I was watching, was it Sports Center or something yesterday, Diesel, one of the shows on ESPN, and two of the hosts picked Denver to win the division. And I don't know. We've talked about Patrick Mahomes being fat, right? Out of shape, allegedly. I don't know if we're being premature with this. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, right? We all know, we watched it. It wasn't close. The Eagles just took it to the Chiefs, Diesel, in the Super Bowl. But are we being premature when we're just – because we like to do this as sports fans. We turn the page, right, so quickly. And all of a sudden, July 18th, 2025, the Chiefs' run is over. And maybe it is. I just wonder from the Tolos out there in the upstate, are we being a little too premature? Or, in your mind, is the run truly maybe a thing of the past?
I would not put money on it that the run is over, especially while the core is still there.
Okay.
If we're talking 2-3 years down the road and, Kelsey is gone and Andy Reid is gone and so many of the great players on that team have either retired, moved on, gone to different teams, then you may say the run is over and Patrick Mahomes can't do it by himself. But then again, could that be a situation where Patrick Mahomes says, well, clearly everything that I needed to be successful here is gone. I don't want to rebuild this thing from scratch. Trade me because I want to go somewhere else that is ready to win.
That's a good question. So, Diesel, when you ask that, to me, it spurs the question of what is the piece of the Kansas City Chiefs that ends it? Is it Kelsey moving off? Because we saw last year he wasn't himself, right? He wasn't the Travis Kelsey that we all knew in terms of his physical ability. He's getting older. Is it Andy Reid? Is it Patrick Mahomes aging? I don't know. But eventually, we all know that all roads do come to an end. The dam always breaks, right? And when the Kansas City Chiefs dam breaks, there's going to be a part of the dam that just gives way, right? And that might be Travis Kelsey. It might be those weapons that he had. It might be Chris Jones, who's one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. But eventually, I don't know. So to answer my question, Diesel, I don't know if it's this year, but eventually I do think that dam's going to break and the Chiefs' run is going to come to an end. Patrick Mahomes, he's still a generational type quarterback, so
yeah,
they might find life again one day. I just don't know how long this nice run they've had is going to last.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this dynasty is hanging on by a thread. That thread's not snapped yet. I mean, what if this is the year that Andy Reid says enough is enough, right? And then Andy and these players have a tremendous amount of respect for Andy Reid. So if Andy goes, they all start splintering, and Travis says, okay, that's enough. I've had enough. I want to go hang out with my, a billion times platinum girlfriend and travel the world with her, and I don't want to be playing football until I'm 35, 40 years old. I'm going to go see the world and enjoy it while I'm still young.
It could be, and it wouldn't surprise me because we all knew that Diesel, after last year's Super Bowl, we knew that Travis Kelsey's career was in the flux, right? Like we knew it was soon. It's just a matter of time until he retires. He came back, but I think this might be it, right, in 2025. What about Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns quarterback battle? So when you talk about NFL storylines, Diesel, the Browns have 4 quarterbacks on their depth chart. It feels like 44. Joe Flacco, they signed in the offseason. They traded for Kenny Pickett. They drafted Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So most teams don't carry more than 3 quarterbacks on their active roster. There's going to be some cuts made here. I look at this quarterback situation with Cleveland as one of the most intriguing storylines. but just simply because, number one, it's Cleveland, and for whatever reason, we're all attracted to a dumpster fire. But number two, Shedeur Sanders was kind of the biggest story of the draft because of how late he fell in the draft. How this quarterback battle shakes out really does pique my interest. What about you?
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Shedeur can get his personal life back in order. We saw a couple pieces of news a few weeks ago about him getting pulled over multiple times for driving way in excess of the speed limit. I didn't know that Cleveland was a suburb of Athens, Georgia. There's just something about players in Athens, they want to go fast, and you get that money, you get a fast car, and you want to go fast. So Shedeur, who we all had the idea that he was going to be a top, first-round draft pick and could be starting for an NFL team this year. We heard that he had humbled himself. We had heard that he was, buckling down and going to prove it in camp and in practice. That hasn't been the case, right? He hasn't shown that so far. Now, maybe these two incidents have changed things for him because it's kind of like one of those days without an accident signs. We haven't heard any Shedeur news now for a couple of weeks. Can he continue to keep his nose clean?
It's interesting to see Diesel in terms of keeping his nose clean, what that'll entail. I think he has the ability, my personal opinion, I think he has the ability to keep his nose clean because I think his dad can be a good enough influence on him. I'm a fan of his dad, and I think his dad at some point or another will be enough of an impact and influence on him even in the pros to say, look, let's try to buckle down and get this ship on track, right? SHIP. I don't know if that will translate to him being a successful quarterback or not, but I do believe that the Shedeur Sanders in the news, Shedeur Sanders in the headlines, I do believe that'll eventually go away. And then lastly, Diesel, before we take a break and are joined by Ian Unsworth, I hate to say this, but Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh, it's likely his last season in the NFL. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest storylines in terms of, we all know Mike Tomlin's a good coach. They won, 9-10 games, but can Aaron Rodgers late in his career be enough to take the Pittsburgh Steelers over the hump?
Well, does he have it in him to play hard for 17 games? Or will it feel like a farewell tour for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's what happens if you get to week number 6 or 7 and you're under 500? Does Aaron Rodgers mail it in and potentially get benched for who else? I don't know who else is on the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. Yeah, does he get benched for Mason? And they say, all right, Aaron, it's been fun. We appreciate 7 weeks, but we need to move on because clearly you're not in this.
I mean, so here's what I say to that. If you told me today that was going to happen, it wouldn't shock me. Would it shock anybody out there if we said Diesel made a prediction that Rodgers is going to check out because they didn't meet expectations? I don't think it would shock many people. I really don't, man.
No.
And maybe he proves us wrong, Diesel, but I don't know. I think for me, the last thing I'll say before we run, I think for me, I'm in the mode of Rodgers has to once again prove himself to us, if that makes sense.
Well, you said something there, Cole, about being a winner, and our Tolos can feel like a winner right now by being caller number 5 at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-326-3663. It's your chance to win 2 two-day general admission passes to Rock the Country next Friday and Saturday night, July 25th and 26th at Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center in Anderson. Friday night, Kid Rock headlining with Tracy Lawrence, Aaron Lewis and the State Liners. And on Saturday, Nickelback headlining with Hank Williams Jr., Gavin Adcock, Mark Chestnut, Sammy Kershaw, Hudson Westbrook, and Afro Man, taking caller number 5 at 844-FAN-PHONE to win. And when we come back, Ian Unsworth, the media relations manager for the Hub City Spartanburgers, that's coming your way next on the Fan Upstate. Congratulations to Brian from Landrum, scored those two-day passes to Rock the Country 2025 down at Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center. And Cole right now sits at another sports and entertainment center, the beautiful Fifth Third Park on the concourse, and he is sitting side by side with Ian Unsworth, the broadcast and media relations manager there for the Hub City Spartanburgers. Since we're talking Rock the Country, and you guys had one heck of a country night, a country concert out there a few weeks ago with Cole Swindell. Ian, who's your favorite country artist, or are you a country guy at all?
Well, we were listening to a lot of Morgan Wallen this past week on the beach at Pawleys Island. That's where I spent my all-star break. Couple chairs, some toes in the sand, cold beverage here and there, and just let it wash away.
So Morgan's he's uncanceled out there on Pawleys Island?
Well, he's in the playlist, I can tell you that much. A whole lot of beach music. You got your Jimmy Buffett in there, Zach Bryan. It just flows, and at the end of the day, it's just all about the environment and the experience when you get that playlist rolling.
I love that. Do you feel like with y'all's break last week, you as somebody who is very deep in the weeds with this baseball team, you feel like it was an opportunity for you to kind of not only reset but look back on, man, what happened so quick with Fifth Third Park and this team having a really good start to the season?
I try to reflect and be grateful every day if I possibly can, because there are a lot of people that put us in positions to succeed. But as of right now, I would say a lot of guys returned from the break, refreshed, reset. The few that I've gotten to talk to thus far played a lot of golf, or got to see family members, or spent time with teammates and friends in Hickory, the Rangers Low A affiliate, or maybe saw some guys that they know from college that are playing in other minor league systems. And I think for a lot of people, it's a chance to see some friends and spend time away from the game, which is really hard in a setting like this. When you're playing 6 days a week, a lot of guys, even on the off days, are here working out or lifting or throwing bullpens. So there really is no time to rest. So those 3-4 days are pivotal to step aside and be fortunate, be grateful for good health, good people around you, but also remember that, hey, in this stretch run, we can really crank it into high gear.
Ian, you can study charts. Doing what you do, you can study charts and tendencies and get to know these guys from a statistical standpoint, and that's a big part of your job. But talk about the process of getting to know the guys on a personal level. When you listen to a broadcast, you start to hear, the play-by-play announcers giving those personal stories, and that's what really makes a broadcast great. So what's your process like getting to know them on a one-by-one basis? Do you kind of have to handle it systematically? Like, okay, today I'll go hang out with the right fielder, and then on Tuesday I'm going to go have lunch with the third baseman. How do you handle that?
I bounce back and forth between bullpen, position players. I try to get a little bit of everything and pop my head in the clubhouse at least once a day just to say, hey, what's up to the guys, because there's always something interesting going on, Diesel. Someone's listening to some tune you've never heard of before, or guys are playing cards, guys are doing trivia. Our team loves Sporkle quizzes and listing off, who were the 15 best RBI producers of the 2000s, stuff like that. Casey Cook and Dylan Dreiling are especially into the trivia side of things. So that sort of thing, just being there every day and being a familiar face, I think is really important. And then on the other side, when you first get the roster, I try to do as much background research as I can and then build off that as I talk to the guys to show them that, hey, I want to learn about your past. I care about you as an individual, and I also want to know what's going on in your day-to-day, because I think it's important to be a friendly face for these guys because they go through struggles. They're still in the process of becoming adults. A lot of them 19, 20, 21 years old. There's a lot of personal things that they go through as well. So sometimes trying to be there for them, trying to help them out. Hey, I need a ticket to a game. How can I help you here? Or, hey, I'm looking to get in contact or send something to my family member over here. How can I help you there? Do the little things for the guys that'll really make a difference. So give a helping hand every once in a while, and then being on the road, too, is such a privilege because there aren't a lot of broadcasters at the high A level that get to travel with the team and get to go to hotels and bus trips and be there super early at 12, 1 o'clock when the team shows up. And I get so many different bits and pieces for that. So I'm really thankful for the Spartanburgers and the radio contracts that have been put together in the formation of this team and this organization that have given me the opportunity to get special access that no one else really has.
Broadcast and Media Relations Manager Ian Unsworth joining us on the Fan Upstate. Obviously, it's been great to meet you in this first season, and we hope selfishly that you don't leave us. But with you and your position, somebody else in North Carolina or Georgia or Florida, all across the country, there are many of you that are trying to continue to move up. What is Ian Unsworth's ultimate goal, end goal, in terms of broadcasting and what you do with this club?
Well, here I feel like we've already established a great foundation. We're getting streaming numbers back, and we've got some of the highest viewer retention rates in the minor leagues. So people are starting to watch the SPARTANBURGERS broadcast, and they're sticking around. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from fans and player families and people who are on the backside of things. Even, producers from other teams or broadcast directors from other teams are really appreciative and really positive about the work we're doing here. So that means a lot to me already. I mean, of course, I'd love to call March Madness someday. I'd love to call a World Series someday. But I think there are so many people that are now in the broadcasting game and wanting to do play-by-play that if I look too far ahead or if I get too focused on what's next, how can I take the next step, I'm really going to lose sight of all the great opportunity I have here, not only to call games every day and tell the stories of these players who are going to be Rangers someday, but also just to make an impact on the Spartanburg community and really touch some people out here who haven't had the joy of listening to a radio call of a baseball game in 30 years. So I try to think more about that than what's next or where am I trying to go from here or how am I trying to leverage an opportunity, because especially in a season like this when there are so many games back-to-back, it's so much better to live in the moment.
By the way, we call that, Diesel and I, TOLO. That's what, I don't know, you're probably thinking, what is a TOLO? You said the retention rate that you guys have, turning it on and leaving it on. So our audience, the ones that listen to us, the loyal listeners we have, they turn it on and leave it on. So they are TOLOs, TOLO, turn on, leave on. So
it means you got loyal fans,
that's exactly
and nothing's better than that.
Yeah. So if you hear TOLO now you know what we're talking about.
I like it. It's an acronym, and I know you guys are getting ready for high school football season. That fits in perfectly.
It does. It absolutely does.
So, Ian, you've probably worked for a couple of ball clubs before coming to Spartanburg and working with this team, and obviously traveling around to the other venues and organizations that you're exposed to. What is it that Hub City does? Because, Cole and I saw the stadium, and it's a beautiful stadium, and physically on site, what they have is better than a lot of ballparks. But how is what the Hub City Spartanburgers as an organization does just flat out better than the other ones that you've worked for in the past?
I would say from an entertainment standpoint and from a creativity standpoint, the Spartanburgers are really on the cutting edge here. No two promotions are the same every night. There's always something different going on. I love our giveaways, especially the Father's Day spatula. I will say, I don't have any kids, but I took one of those spatulas home for myself, and it has been getting used. Bourbon peach pork chops, chicken fajitas. The grills at my apartment have seen a lot of that spatula. So I'm really excited for all that sort of stuff that we have going here. The merchandise is great. The team stores are awesome. That's the sort of stuff that is really important in the minor leagues to grab people's attention. And you're going to come here and see a good ballpark product.
Sure.
You're going to see good baseball, and I think a lot of fans that have come here and stayed for the baseball really enjoy it. But sometimes it's just about getting an eye on the team. And not only does the newness of this all really help, but I think what our promotions manager, Wyatt Sutton, does a great job of is finding something for everyone. Something I'm really excited about personally is Baseball for Everyone Night, which is happening on July 29th. We're retiring Jake Berger's number 21 to honor his daughter Penelope, who has Down syndrome, and the Berger family is really making an effort to work with all those communities in Texas. So we're extending that out here with the Carolina Miracle League. That's our partnership of the night. And I grew up working with kids with autism and Down syndrome in middle and high school, and so it's really cool to see that brought here where I can help in a professional setting as well.
Well, Ian, great stuff as always. We appreciate you, and thank you for your time, man.
Of course. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Ian
Ian.
Unsworth, you heard him right here on the Fan Upstate, and you'll continue to hear him as we continue to partner with the Hub City Spartanburgers. Always appreciate you, buddy. He is fantastic. And the Spartanburgers, Diesel, back in action tonight. Brooklyn in town, and it is going to be a beautiful night, a hot night for baseball, but it's going to be a beautiful night. Did you say that you're making your Burgers debut tomorrow? Is that right?
Yeah, it's there's always those certain, bands that you want to go see that for some reason something always happens that prevents you from going. And I've gone down the path of going to games before, but this is the first time I'll actually get up and see a game in person. We got tickets. We're going. We're going to be there tomorrow. So, I'm looking forward to it, man. Obviously, you and I have seen the stadium, and you've been there multiple times as a fan to watch the game. As you've kind of wandered around that ballpark, and that's one of my favorite things about minor league ballparks is they're not super strict on where you sit. Yeah, you have your ticket, and you're supposed to sit where your ticket is. But, you've probably been all over that ballpark. Where's your favorite spot to catch an inning?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll tell you this. I have been to a lot of games. I haven't been to many as media. I've been very fortunate. A lot of my friends, Diesel, have tickets and have suites and have invited me. So I'll tell you, I'm biased to the Milliken Club, and it is down the first base line. They have a fantastic food menu every single night. I mean, not like burgers and hot dogs, like prime rib, taco. I mean, it's really good food. So there's not first of all, to answer your question, there's not a bad view in the house. There's really good views way down the third base line and way down the first base line, kind of looking back toward home plate. Press box view is good, of course, but the Milliken Club, man, that's hard to beat. And I'll tell you this, Tyson Jeffers told me, Diesel, that this was back in last month or so when Cole Swindell was here for the concert. I was talking to Tyson Jeffers, and he said that the Milliken Club tickets originally were only available for season ticket purchase, right? So you had to purchase them as season tickets. However, I don't have an update as of right now, but I was told that they're exploring the idea of making those Milliken Club tickets available for single game purchase, which would mean if you
upgrade.
You want to upgrade, right? Like a flight. If you want to go up there to the Milliken Club, you can buy that on a single game basis, which would be awesome because that's one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what special promotion they've got going on tomorrow night. I'm excited about it no matter what. Now tonight, it's Christmas in. Oh, they said it was Boy Scout camp out on the field night. Yeah.
Were you a Boy Scout?
I was. I made it to first year Weebelo, and then I stopped. I didn't make Eagle Scout.
What is Weebelo?
It goes like wolf, bear, and then Weebelo. And there's 2 years of Weebelo, and then I think you get into Eagle Scout territory.
I'm putting you on the spot there.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure because I don't know how everybody else who went through Boy Scouts how your experience was. Mine was awful. It was awful because I remember having these nerdy science nerds for my early couple of years of Boy Scouts. And it was all classroom material. It's like classroom work. We never went out and, started a fire in the woods and had to catch a fish and clean it and cook it. We didn't do any of that stuff. And to me, that's what Boy Scouts is supposed to be. You're supposed to learn survival skills. And we didn't learn survival skills. I remember one time having to do a book report on dinosaurs for Boy Scouts, and it sucked. And I'm still mad about it to this day.
Yeah, I would be too. Dinosaurs are non-existent. What are you doing wasting your time on that, right? That I'm with you, but I was not to tell you to inform you, Diesel. I was not a Boy Scout, so I can't tell you anything about the Boy Scouts.
I certainly wasn't a Boy Scout after I got out of Scouts, if you know what I mean. Dewey says you were a Cub Scout, not a Boy Scout. Well, I guess I was only a Cub Scout then.
You think Dewey was a Boy Scout?
God.
Or a Girl Scout?
I would not trust Dewey with a flint and tinder. No way.
No kidding.
No way.
Stay away from fire, right?
Dewey might pee in your water bottle. You'd send Dewey down to the river to fill it up. He'd pee in it.
That's good stuff. I appreciate, by the way, we had three great guests. Chad Comer, Tyson Jeffers, and Ian Unsworth, who you just heard on the Fan Upstate, making time, literally the team's down there in BP. It's their first day back. So really, really appreciate those guys making time to join us on the Fan Upstate here at 5th Third Park. If you missed any of that, you can go back on the free Odyssey app on the rewind feature. We'll replay some of those interviews for you later in the 6 o'clock hour as well. But Diesel, you are going to really, really go back 20 years or so, 25 years ago in the very next segment. You and I did a segment 6 months or so ago where we asked the Tolos what the oldest car they had was in terms of mileage, but we're putting a new spin on it this time in terms of actual year model. Is that right?
Yeah, I am. Now, my other station that I host on, 93.3 The Planet, I'm on 7 to midnight.
Yep.
We do themed weekends every now and again. And this weekend happens to be a 90s throwback weekend. So I want to know from our Tolos, 2 questions here, 844-326-3663. Call in or text in. What cars did you own that were manufactured in the 90s? And who's still driving one? Is anybody still cruising around in a 90s model car? Let us know about it, 844-FAN-PHONE.
So this is how bad I am with memory, Diesel, that I'm going to show you on the stream. Every car I've ever owned, I have to put it on the notes on my phone.
You just have this list, or did you list it out because of this segment?
No, I have it.
That's strange.
It is, but I never want to forget. I've driven 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different cars.
How many of them did you wreck?
Did it me or somebody else?
All of the above.
No. We're very clear on this. So tell us, we're going to dive into that conversation next. Diesel brought this up earlier in the show, and we want to hear from you, Toros, on this at 844-326-3663. We asked you, Toros, about 6 months ago. We were looking at vehicles that you drive with high mileage, and we were trying to see what Toro out there drove the vehicle with the most mileage. But this one, Diesel, is a 90s car edition that you said was spawned from your night show on the planet, right?
Yeah. I was just wondering who's still rocking a 90s car? What kind of cars did you have from the 90s? Like we think about, for some reason, we think cars from the 50s and the 60s were pretty good. And then cars from the 70s and 80s were kind of crap. And it feels like maybe cars got a little bit better back in the 90s. So I wonder, is anybody still rocking a 90s car?
Maybe, 25-year-old car? Like if you had
It came out in 89 or 99,
You
yeah.
had a 99 model.
Yeah.
Maybe a 25-year-old car. Let me look at my
Not
list.
that many.
No. I've only owned in my life one car in the 90s, and it was a 99 4Runner. And it's a Toyota.
Great car. Yeah.
Well, he's probably still driving right now. That's the only one I've ever owned.
I've owned one car from the 90s. It was a 1996 Jeep Cherokee. And I loved that thing. I literally drove it until the transmission fell apart in
You're
there.
a Jeep guy.
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to fix this thing? It's going to cost $3,000." I'm like, "No, I'm not going to pay $3,000 to repair a vehicle with 290,000 miles on it. That's not going to happen."
RJ says on the Hub City Spartanburgers text line, my first car was a 94 Nissan Sentra. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sentra, yeah.
I don't know if I know what that is. Like if I can picture what a Sentra looks like. He says, given to me senior year of high school, got point A to point B. Texter from the 843 says, not quite 90s, but still driving a 04 Yukon Denali with 320,000.
Goodness.
That's crazy.
Mine's about to my 2006 Wrangler's about to hit 200,000 miles. There's no chance that thing makes what did he say, 320? No way.
So the one you drive right now has how many?
196, I think.
Okay.
196,000.
What year is it?
2006. So almost 20 years old. Yeah, I mean that's right at 10,000 miles a year. If you look at the Bureau of Transportation statistics, only about 3% of cars that were made in the 1990s are still on the road. So that's one heck of an accomplishment. Yeah. If you still got a 90s car on the road, that's a big deal.
So I just recently bought a 2013 GMC Acadia, and it had 128,000 when I bought it.
Barely broken in.
Yeah, well, not bad, right? So not bad at all. And I'd like to drive that thing till the wheels fall off. JD on YouTube says I had a 97 Ford Ranger with 240 and a 98 Tacoma with 285. If it's a Toyota, man, it'll most likely go to 300.
I'll bet you that Tacoma rode a heck of a lot better than that Ranger.
No doubt.
And even with almost 50,000 miles more on it. Toyotas they're good.
They last forever.
Good cars.
Corn Chip says my brother drove a 91 Chevy Cavalier up until the mid-late 2010s.
So apparently cars in the 90s had big problems. Like I guess they didn't take a tremendous amount of effort to make the paint good, which would preserve the bodywork very well. So it says the number one reason that 90s cars come off the road is because they rust into oblivion.
That's crazy.
Right?
I would never thought. I mean, I could see it if they were up north, right, with all that salt, but that's interesting. I've only owned one car from the 90s.
Well, think about all the cars that you see that have the racing stripes on them that are not racing stripes, i.e. the clear coat's falling off, and you get stripes on there that were never supposed to be there. Those are always 90s cars.
Yeah, it's true.
Always 90. A lot of them, some of them maybe like early 2000 Civics, because everybody I know that's ever had an early 2000 Civic all had that same streak from the back of the windshield across the roof of the car.
I would like to, and I'm going to run to a break, I would like to be able to get my current car to 200. If I could get it to 200, I'd be
There you
like
go.
overjoyed.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a payment. I don't want a car payment, so I'd like to drive it until the wheels fall off.
I saw a meme the other day that asked, if you're in your 30s, what's advice that you'd give to somebody in your 20s? And I said, for the love of God, do not buy a brand new car the first time you get a little bit of money in your pocket, because that is an awful, awful decision.
You're right.
Tolos, let's change things up. When we come back at 5 o'clock, it is time for our regular weekly 5 o'clock Friday Fives. This is your chance, and Cole and mine as well, to hand out some high fives for excellent performances of the week, or if you just want to shout out something good happening in your life, Friday Fives next.
If you work a 9 to 5,
Clear.
think you know better than career coaches making 100 times your salary?
You're listening to the right show.
This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate. The Fan Upstate. Here's how to get in the game. On your radio at 97.7 FM, 1330 AM, Greenville. 97.1 FM, 950 AM, Spartanburg.
Listen on your phone, download the Odyssey app, and search The Fan Upstate.
There's a whole lot more to know about sound if you really want to go into the subject.
Your smart speaker. Just say play 97 The Fan Upstate. On your HD radio at WFBC HD3. There's just one more thing. And on your computer at
FanUpstate.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year.
Oh, Dewey's shtick is starting to get a little old.
If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Infinity Sports Network. Sports Flash.
Scotty Scheffler is looking to add his second major this season. The PGA champ is now the leader midway through the Open Championship at 10 under par after a 65 today, and it could have been even better. He just missed a birdie putt on 18 by about an inch. He has a one-shot lead over Matt Fitzpatrick, while Brian Harman, Haktong Lee are both 2 shots off the lead at 8 under par. Again, halfway through the Open Championship. The Red Sox ended the first half with 10 straight wins. Their schedule gets considerably more difficult in the second half, starting today with the NL Central leading Cubs, who lead by a score of 4-1 as they head to the 8th inning. Seiya Suzuki got it going early with a 3-run homer in the first. Nico Horner added an RBI single in the 6th. Roman Anthony responsible for the lone Red Sox run.
Oh, the best part of the movie. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. That's so good.
So good.
Defending champion Dodgers, who had a rough time to finish the first half with 7 straight losses before finishing with back-to-back.
92, and I'm willing to bet that humidity is up there around 70%.
Our handle is INF Sports Network.
I mean, Evan's like dripping in sweat, and he's just sitting.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell and Cordell. Cordell and Cordell is the largest.
Is Santa sweating? That's what I want.
With over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell and Cordell, a partner you can count on.
You would think
Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Let me guess, there's like no wind moving?
Animal Care has cats and dogs just waiting to find their forever family. When you adopt from Greenville County Animal Care, you're getting an animal who has been spayed or neutered, is microchipped, and is up to date on vaccinations. Most pets can be brought home the same day you adopt. We do charge a small fee to adopt a pet to help us help more animals. But sometimes we have adoption specials and the fees are waived. As a service to veterans, all adoptions are free. Visit greenvillepets.org to learn more.
I'm gonna me and
Join
Evan
us
will
at
leave
Noma
at
Square
6,
for
but that's
Piedmont
okay.
Natural Gas Downtown Alive. Presented by Spectrum.
Well,
Arts After Dark is every third Thursday,
yeah.
featuring local artists with
The
Metropolitan
iffy
Arts
thing is that
Council,
you're at a
Piedmont
client that
Natural
paid
Gas
for it.
Downtown
So,
Alive.
yeah.
Thursday.
What's going right for you this week? You know, there's so much negativity in the world. You turn on the news, that's all they talk about. If it bleeds, it leads. You get the worst of the worst news right out of the gate. We want to take at least one opportunity every week on Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson to talk about the positive things. You know, what's going well for you? It could be your kid hit his first home run in Little League this week. Whatever it might be, call in at 844-326-3663 or text in on the Hub City Spartanburgers text line. Grab this, I got a call.
Sorry about that, Diesel. I was literally drinking water as Diesel threw it to me. I had the hiccups. What you don't want to do in radio and sports, not just sports radio, but radio in general, is have the hiccups while you're on the air. And I just hiccuped.
Uh-oh.
And I was drinking some water when you threw it to me, so I apologize about that. But I am live at Fifth Third Park and Spartanburg. The gates opening in about 30 minutes in the Berg, and I can imagine it might be a little bit late of a crowd tonight, letting that sun get down a little bit before people get out here to enjoy the atmosphere in the ball game, as it's a warm one here in Sparkle City.
Yeah, and we appreciate, the Spartanburgers having us out. We also appreciate Ingalls Markets for sponsoring us being out on location.
I think Evan and I are going to move to the press box here in a minute.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Evan, why didn't you put us in the press box today? Aren't you the promotions guy? He said it wasn't his choice. I'm just giving him a hard time.
He didn't have the credentials to get up there. That's why he didn't want to do that. I got one more call coming in the line, but as we get things started, let's bring Dewey on the line. And this is going to be a challenge for Dewey, okay? Because I'm going to challenge Dewey to get through an entire phone call here on the Fan Upstate without saying the word sucks and without saying the word fired. So he can't say anything sucks. He can't say somebody should be fired. That's the whole point of this segment. Otherwise, we can ban him for a week from the airwaves. Can Dewey do it? Dewey, what do you have for the Friday Fives?
Oh, that's a hard challenge. But anyways, this is hard. Anyways, I got a couple of high fives. First high fives for the Braves because they actually made a trade.
Yep.
It was a garbage trade, but it was a trade, and it's not going to help nothing. But at least Jesse Chavez, he got booted off the team again. I can't say the F word, so he got booted off the team again. They'll probably bring him back in about 3 weeks, and it's a trade. We talk about Ozuna getting traded. That probably needs to be happening soon. I wouldn't even trade for a starting pitcher at this point. The season's lost. I would go after prospects and try to pillage through other teams' farm systems to try to rebuild. The season's over with.
So who are you giving a high five to?
To the Braves for making a trade. That really doesn't matter.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other high fives?
And to Santa Claus for coming to talk. And he has a busy schedule. And, Santa Claus, he'll be sleeping and doing all this other stuff. So, shout out to Santa Claus. But I don't think that was really Santa Claus.
Whoa, Dewey. We got kids listening. Dewey?
But he needed to bring his elves and his reindeer. And Santa Claus will melt. It's 1,000 degrees outside.
JD says on the stream that he regrets that you figured out how to stream because you're so mean and you're ruining the stream experience. Is that true? Do you feel like you're too mean, Dewey?
Sorry about that. I already fired Dewey and put him on.
Ooh, you killed him off?
Yeah, he's done. But he can respond on the stream.
He can. And by the way, Diesel, that talking about Jesse Chavez, Dewey brought him up. That stint that he just had, no lie, was his 7th stint with the Atlanta Braves. That is no lie.
Care to make it a snowman and go for 8s? It could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines and bring in Stephen Webb from Spartanburg, who's got a Friday 5. Hopefully you can be a little less backhanded than Dewey was, Stephen. But here's your chance to give a shout out to an individual performance or something going right in your life.
All right, I'm going to do a Friday high five, and I'm going to go a little retroactive to give my daughter a high five for doing everything she did and getting a full ride to Coker University on a soccer and academic scholarship. She was a 4-year starter for Dorman High School, the largest high school in South Carolina.
Wow.
And she held that down while she finished out of 961 students, number 13 in academics.
Wow.
Nice.
Where'd she get the smart genes from, Stephen?
Oh, it's all from her mama.
There you go.
It
Good
had
answer.
nothing to do with me. Listen, she got her drive from her daddy, but she got all the wisdom from her mama.
And what's her name again?
Michaela.
So shout out to Michaela for the scholarship to Coker, playing soccer. That is awesome, man. Congratulations, Stephen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. It's Friday 5s here, Tolos. 844-326-3663. Can't beat that. It's local, right? They say bring everything local. But I'm going to throw a shout out or a Friday 5 Cole, and I never thought I would do this. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to throw my Friday 5 at Bryson DeChambeau for being 7 under yesterday, 6 under today. I mean, it was almost assured that he was going to miss the cut. And, he wasn't cooked, man. He was blackened. But he fought back, posting 7 birdies today, 10 pars, only 1 bogey in pretty tough conditions. It was raining kind of nasty out there.
That's a good one. I like that a lot because yesterday you and I talked about Bryson being like Dunzo, like to your point, missing the cut completely, and it being a really big disappointment for Bryson DeChambeau. However, he turned it around, and he turned it around quickly. So shout out to him. JD brings up a good one on the stream, Diesel. He says, high five to SEC Media for voting Sellers first team all SEC QB.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's a great honor for him. That's awesome. I think Sellers is set up to have a big time season this year. Can he live up to it now that the hype and everything is fair and squarely at him? I think he can, but we'll see. Let's go to the phone lines again. Friday 5s bring in Tom in Somerville. What does Tom or who does Tom have to shout out and give a high five to on a Friday?
I'm going to give it to my wife. Tomorrow's her birthday. So even though I know she's not listening, I'll tell her happy birthday. Well, her name is Lydia, but sometimes I just call her boss. Sometimes I call her another word I'm not going to say. But either way, I love her. It's her birthday. So tomorrow. So she deserves a high five. So we're going to go, to dinner tomorrow and celebrate. So
Why do you sound like you're in prison?
Well, Dewey brought up Santa Claus, and, here I am, I'm enjoying summertime, and I walk out, I leave work today, and it's only 79 degrees down here because it's been raining all day, so it's kind of chilly, and I don't like the cold. I'm dead into summertime, and I walk outside, and I need to put a jacket on because all week it's been 100 degrees, and I leave work today, and my water bottle got ice on it because it's so daggum cold down here today. And I don't like that. It's July. It needs to be sunny and hot. I need to be on a beach.
He does sound like he may have been kidnapped, Cole. I'm not going to lie. Tom, cough twice if you're in trouble.
I'm not in no trouble yet, but who knows? I'm always in trouble with somebody. But, hey, everybody needs to leave Dewey alone, okay? Everybody's picking on Dewey. Y'all leave Dewey alone.
Well, JD's picking on Dewey on the stream.
JD is offended big time.
I don't even know how you can be offended by Dewey. He's got to be one of the funniest people on this radio show that calls in. I love Dewey, and I hope Dewey has a great weekend.
Thank you, Tom.
You gotta realize JD can get offended by anything. If you say one thing, JD can get offended by it. He says, "Dude, nobody cares about your sorry bleep takes. I promise you don't want this smoke. Go sit." I mean, JD is getting capital O offended. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, Dewey is like the little chihuahua that's picking on the big lab, and the big lab is running away for whatever reason. JD's, he's flustered.
Now,
Dewey has gotten him flustered,
If
Diesel.
there's not a good reason for Tolos to flock to Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube and search for the Fan Upstate and join the stream, you can get in on this conversation. Tom, is there any chance we might see you in there?
I'm not good on the computer, but I'll have to get in there at some point.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick is we haven't heard from Mad Cat in a long time. So I hope he's okay. We haven't heard
I think he's still sitting in the litter box, Mad Cat.
He's just waiting for the Braves to win 2 or 3 games in a row, and he'll call.
And that's the thing. When that narrative died, Tom, I don't know that there was any ammunition for Mad Cat.
Well, I hope he's doing okay. But y'all have a good weekend. And as always, go Gamecocks, and Clemson still sucks.
Thanks, Tom. Let's go to one more here. We got time, Tolos. You can get on the phone lines at 844-326-3663. Maybe you can talk JD off the ledge. Let's go to Kevin in Inman, who's got a Friday 5. Kevin, what's on your mind?
Oh, man, what's happening, Philly? Is Tom and Dewey cousins? I don't know. Just man. Is Tom and Dewey cousins? Because they kind of sound alike.
They might be. They might be.
I like it. Hey, man. Hey, I'm shouting out my grandson.
Kev, who would you rather spend the day with, Dewey or Tom?
I think I might go down there and see what Tom got going on first down there in Somerville.
Yeah.
I'm going down there with Tom, and so I can hear some of that accent they got going on down there. Then I slide by Dewey, because see, by the time I get to Dewey's, my nerves might be shot, so I ain't got to stay long when I get to Dewey.
That's good stuff.
But, hey, I'm gonna shout my grandson out, man. He's about to be 5 years old, man. About to start kindergarten this year.
Oh,
let's go! Shout him
all
out,
right.
Kev. Shout him out. What's his name?
His name is Oscar, but I call him Juice Box because he looked like a little box of juice when he was born.
Please keep that nickname in your back pocket, man. If he becomes a defensive lineman or something like that, Juice Box the defense, that's good.
I mean, you
Listen,
had the
all
fridge.
the cookies and stuff. He might be on his way. All the cookies he like to eat and drink milk. He might be on his way.
If Juice Box doesn't stick, call him Cookie Jar.
Juice Box. Kev, shout out. I like that. Kev, you ready
good.
for high school football, man? I know you're a big Chapman Panthers fan.
Listen, I am losing my mind, man. I'm ready for Little League all the way through. I'm ready from Wednesday through Sunday to be all football.
You ready?
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday, man. I'm telling you.
What's your prognostication on your? I know you played at Chapman. You called out Chapman a lot. What's going to happen in Inman this season? What's your prediction?
I just say a whole lot of fun, man. Just action, a bunch of little young guys that's got 2 to 3 years left, and just running around losing their mind and Panther helmets flying everywhere, and we got your helmet flying everywhere when you come to play us. So I just feel like a whole lot of fun and action, and then me down there trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you're the man. You'll do it. You'll figure it out.
Now, Kevin, you're going to be listening to our high school preview shows, right?
Yes.
All of them. All of them, every chance I get them.
Kevin, do you know the day? So I'm glad you brought that up. We're doing our Greenville County kickoff show on the 31st of July, and then Spartanburg County will be August 1st. That's 2 weeks from today. It'll be the entire show will be dedicated to high school football.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that I would have a chip on my shoulder if I'm my Panther. Last week or something, like 40 questions about teams in the upstate, right?
Ooh.
None of them. One question was about my Panther. Okay, cool. That's the chip on our shoulder for the year. You don't like it. You against it. Everybody is. So let's go.
So
you gotta have mental side.
Kevin, you heard us talking about it when you were on hold. We got JD and Dewey going at each other in the chat right now. If you put those two in a boxing match, remember back in the day when two kids were mad at each other, you put boxing gloves on them, you give them 5 minutes to handle it. If we had that happen again, if we put them in a boxing ring together with gloves on, who would come out with the win? JD versus Dewey.
I'm gonna say JD. I'm gonna say JD. Just cause, but at the same time, you ever seen two people about to fight? One hope he don't fight, and one don't want to fight.
Everybody's backing away from the other one.
They hope somebody break it up, but neither one of us want it right now.
That's so true. That's
good. And they just hope somebody break it up. It might end up being like Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. That little silly fight they had. So both of them do. They seem like two pretty cool dudes. So one don't want to fight and one hope he don't. So that's how I'm gonna put that.
Kevin, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend. Kevin and Edmund, ladies and gentlemen.
He's the best, man.
Oh, love it.
One of the best. He is so good.
Absolutely love it.
So good. I don't know. They're going at it on the stream. Dewey called JD a small little boy. Dewey, don't do that because you don't understand what that.
Have you seen these videos online where juggalos, i.e. fans of Insane Clown Posse, call each other out via social media posts saying, hey, Twisted Biscuit up there in Johnson County, Tennessee, I'll whoop you. You come on down here to Spartanburg, Alabama, and I'm going to fight you.
The bad part is, Diesel, what Dewey don't understand is he's messing with JD, but what he don't understand is JD's going to take it serious. So now JD's already responded and said, Dewey, like I said, I'm trying to be cool with you, but you started this and I'll finish it. JD's the one that if you say something to him and you're joking, he gets super like 0 to 100. Dewey, you don't realize he's going to get upset with you. You don't. I think
it's called poking the bear, Dewey. You're poking the bear.
You're poking the bear. That's funny. Please. Sometimes you just wonder, like, where'd this show go?
Tolos, jump in the stream and be a part of this, would you? The fan upstate.
I like this. Andrew on YouTube says, live stream the fight, please.
Welcome into the stream. I think it's the first time we've ever seen Andrew Delora in the stream. Awesome.
What's up, Andrew? How are you, man?
Hey, pal.
That is good stuff. That is, gosh, you don't even know. Sometimes you just don't have words. Texter from the 843 says, Dewey's going to look at the computer wrong and offend JD. He gets offended by everything. I think him and Madcraft are related. Dang, the 843 now going at JD. Let's see. How about this corn chip? High five to my daughter for competing in back-to-back pageants this weekend and winning last weekend. I told Mizra's corn chip to call in and argue with Diesel about how she thinks it's a sport.
Oh, well, she didn't, though, so I won by default. By the way, corn chip, how did it go over? Friday 5 to you, because on Wednesday, corn chip came out to see us at the Ingalls in Easley and the 410 Pelzer Highway location at Easley. And we gave him some gift cards because he came in and he shouted Tolo at our face. That's what happens. You come by, you get rewarded for it. And I said, corn chip, when was the last time you bought your wife flowers? And he went over to the flower stand with me and said, what should I get her? So he picks out this nice looking bouquet, takes his wife home some flowers. I want to know how it went, corn chip. How did your wife react when you brought her home flowers?
I should have brought you flowers. Is that what he said to her? Is that what he said?
I don't know.
I don't know how he missed Tolo Locust Hillbilly in TR. He said he was going back to that.
First time for Locust Hillbilly.
I love that name, by the way. We missed that text earlier on the text line.
Man.
But that's a top Tolo name, isn't it? Tolo
That's good.
Locust Hillbilly. I love that. I really do. JD says, take some crayons and write some creative sports takes down, and I'll see you next week. But they're going at it. It's not good. We got to go to break.
Oh, this is entertainment. Texter says, fight.
Yes, please. Everybody wants to see that. It would be must-watch TV. So 2 things in the next segment before we get to Daily Wires. Number one, so looking at the best minor league team mascots across the country, I'm live at Fifth Third Park in Spartanburg. Diesel, we have a list of the best minor league baseball mascots. Also, we need to get to the preseason SEC football media poll. All SEC team announced. That is next right here on the Fan Upstate. today, the Southeastern Conference preseason SEC football media poll, as well as the All-SEC team announced. JD brought it up earlier on the show when doing our Friday Fives, but let's get into that. Also, before we run, Diesel, let's take a look as I'm live at Fifth Third Park in Spartanburg, some of the best minor league team mascots across the country. There's some really good ones out there. This is going to be a lot of fun. But first, let's get to those who deserve the attention, who deserve the honor. And tell those want to hear your reactions at 844-326-3663. The Hub City Spartanburgers text line is open for you to text the show. But Diesel, the Texas Longhorns have been predicted to win the 2025 SEC Championship, according to a preseason poll of media covering SEC football media days. On a scale of 0 to surprised, how surprised are you that Texas was picked to win the 2025 SEC Championship?
Not at all. I mean, the hype is super high. Texas is a loaded team. I mean, let's not look and be so myopic that we look at all of the Arch Manning hype and then say, well, the team doesn't deserve it themselves, because it is a very good team that he's coming in to be a quarterback of. And even if he's not this savior of college football, like everybody expects him to be, the next great thing, Tim Tebow or whatever, he doesn't have to be that for Texas to be really good this year. They are loaded top to bottom, and he's coming in with skill and with prestige and with hype, and that's why you just can't end this conversation about Texas and Arch.
And we talked about that. That's one of the most interesting subjects when you talk about Arch is, Diesel, to your point, he's going to be good. We expect him to be good, but he doesn't have to be like the next, coming of Tim Tebow. He's got to be Arch. He's got to be able to manage the game at a high level. He's got to be efficient, and I think he's got to be able to control or hold on to and protect the football. If he can do those things, I think Texas is going to be where they want to be. The Longhorns received 96 votes to be crowned SEC champion on December 6th in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz, with Georgia being picked to be the Texas opponent in a rematch, Diesel, of the 2024 SEC championship game. The Georgia Bulldogs received 44 votes to win the SEC championship. The participants of the SEC championship game will be determined during the regular season conference schedule, as the teams with the two best overall SEC winning percentages. And a fun fact for you, only 10 times since 1992, 33 years, by the way, has the predicted champion prior to the season proceeded to win the SEC championship game. So think about that. 33 years, only 10 times has the predicted champion, according to all of these experts at SEC Media Day. What's that tell you? That the experts at SEC Media Day have been wrong more times than not.
Yeah, I mean, that's predicting 30% and roughly 30% accuracy. And if you were working in Vegas and as a handicapper, you were only hitting 30% of the time, they'd fit you for a pair of concrete shoes and find the nearest lake.
It's true. It really is. By the way, the 2024 SEC Championship game averaged 16.6 million viewers across ABC and ESPN, the fourth largest audience on a record for the game. The overtime win for Georgia, which peaked with 19.7 million viewers, delivered the largest audience of the college football season. Overall, the SEC title game last season delivered the third largest regular season college football audience ever on the ESPN family of networks. So 96 votes for Texas, according to the SEC Media. Diesel, 44 for Georgia, 29 for Bama, 20 for LSU, and there were 5 voters in Atlanta this weekend that predicted South Carolina to win the SEC championship. Oklahoma got 3 votes, Vandy got 2, Florida got 2, Tennessee got 1, Ole Miss got 1, and one idiot out there somewhere picked Auburn to win the SEC championship.
Did we check the voters who voted for South Carolina for an 803 area code? Because I think I think if you vote for your own team, you should be disqualified. The team that you cover.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do think it'd be interesting to know who it was, though.
Yeah, look, I had a buddy hit me up and send me this graphic earlier today. It said, "What do you think?" And I know that he's a hardcore South Carolina fan. At 5, the prediction at number 5, I don't hate it. I mean, I could see South Carolina finishing anywhere from between 4 and 10. I think they've got a quality team to be the 4th best team, top to bottom in the SEC. But I don't think with that schedule that they are going to finish in the top 4 spots. I mean, they just by the difficulty of the schedule, which it's always tough, they could fall as far as 10.
Yeah,
and that would be a disappointment, obviously.
It would be a disappointment. Look, I'm with you there. I think Texas and Georgia should be the 2 favorites. But South Carolina, they got 5 votes. Am I saying, Diesel, that South Carolina has a shot or no shot? If I had a pick between the 2, I'd probably say they have a shot. They have a shot, in my mind.
A slim one, but it's still a shot.
Yeah. Again, I just think when you talk about South Carolina, the reality is you have to answer questions, right? Same thing, Diesel. Same very thing in my mind with Clemson LSU season opener, right? What am I talking about? What do I mean? Right now, if I had to pick, I'd pick Clemson. Why? Because Clemson has less questions to answer than LSU does. LSU has many, many returners who are returning to LSU from another team, which means portal guys, right? Clemson has the highest retention rate coming into the season than anybody in the country. So same illustration there that I use with Clemson LSU. Because South Carolina, they have a shot. Sure, they have a shot. But for me, there are more questions that have to be answered, including running back, losing Rocket Sanders, right? Lenore Sellers doesn't have anything to prove, but you talk about defensive front, losing guys last year off of that front. How much impact will Dylan Stewart have? The linebacking core, right? They're pretty veteran in the secondary, but there are still questions because you lost so much defensively. So I don't think it's necessarily unfair. By the way, Diesel, speaking of South Carolina, when you look at the 2025 preseason media days all-SEC team, here it is. Your quarterback on first team. You know who won that? Quarterback for the Gamecocks, Lenore Sellers. Any surprise to see Lenore as all-SEC first team?
No, he deserves it. I mean, could you make a case for Garrett Nussmeier? Yeah, but I think Lenore's had the more impressive season last year. I think he's got more upside than Garrett Nussmeier as well.
Yeah, so one Gamecock on first-team offense, no Gamecocks on second-team offense, any Gamecocks on third-team, no. Defensively, first-team defense, Dylan Stewart out of South Carolina does make first-team defense. Let's see here, second-team defensively, nothing from South Carolina, and third-team, nothing from South Carolina. All the specialists went to Georgia. No specialist on first team to South Carolina, second team, or third team. So that sums up the preseason SEC football media poll, all SEC team announced. Again, the most interesting stat from that is that only 10 times since 1992 has the predicted champion prior to the season at SEC media days actually gone on to win the SEC championship game.
It also means that you fans of SEC teams should not be offended if your team is not picked by the media to win this thing, right? If you're picked second, if you're third, if you're the Georgia fan base, who I'm sure is losing their minds on Twitter today, and the LSU fan base are losing their minds on Twitter today, this thing is a crapshoot, man. It's a 1 out of 3 shot they get it right.
Andrew on YouTube says, can't predict injuries. Dewey says South Carolina will win the SEC. Kevin, who just called the show a few minutes ago, says, Cole, you have the state trooper look going on. I guess with a high and tight there. Is that what it is?
We need to get you a pair of aviator sunglasses and a bad attitude, and you are there, my friend.
I'm telling you. And one of those hats, man, I could rock the hat, right? I've always wanted to be a state trooper.
Would you put that plastic bag on it to keep it dry?
No. No, that's just part of it.
Dewey says JD is offended. He says offended and changed it. Offended.
So before we run to a break, the Spartanburgers, which, by the way, I'm sitting at Fifth Third Park in Spartanburg prior to tonight's game against Brooklyn, do they have the best mascot in minor league baseball, or do you feel like there's one out there? Like, you have Juice the Moose, you have Rocky the Rock Hound, you have Chip the Rock Hammer, which, by the way, is the Midland Rock Hounds. They're a AA affiliate in Midland, Texas. You have the Everett Aqua Sox. They're a high A affiliate out of Everett, Washington. Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, not bad.
It's good.
You have the Wilmington Blue Rocks, which I like a lot, which is in Wilmington, Delaware, not Wilmington, North Carolina. These are the Hudson Valley Renegades, which is a high A affiliate in Hudson Valley, New York. Bowling Green Hot Rods, which is in the same division as the Hub City Spartanburgers. They won the first half of the season.
Yep.
Durham Bulls, that's
it's iconic. Yeah, it's iconic. So
Charlotte Knights and one more.
Also good.
Albuquerque Isotopes.
The Albuquerque Isotopes are great. I love the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. The which place is it that has the jumbo shrimp, which is an oxymoron in and of itself? The Jacksonville, right? Jacksonville jumbo shrimp. So let's keep it. Let's start locally here. Yeah, they're called prawns. They're called prawns. So just keeping it in the state of South Carolina, we have 5 minor league baseball teams in the state of South Carolina. The Charleston River Dogs, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, Columbia Fireflies, Greenville Drive, and Hub City Spartanburgers. Who has the best mascot in the state?
That's a good one.
River Dogs, Pelicans, Fireflies, Drive, and Spartanburgers.
And they run single A in Augusta or North.
Is there?
Is North Augusta North Augusta's in South Carolina, right? Or am I wrong on that? North Augusta. Toto's, help me out. Is there an Augusta for some reason?
The Green Jackets? That might be Georgia.
It's a Braves affiliate. I just don't know, Diesel, if they're in South Carolina or Georgia. That might be Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a single A for the Braves, though.
It is in North Augusta, South Carolina.
Oh, is it? Okay,
so I missed that one.
How about that? So
That's the winner.
6?
That's the winner.
Green.
It's got to be the Green Jackets.
No doubt. There's no doubt. That's the best one. I mean, it's in Augusta.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So the mascot is a like a yellow jacket, like a bug, right? But it's green, and they have a man in a plush jacket, yellow jacket costume, and that's good. The Augusta Green Jackets is good.
I like that one. So Spartanburgers Drive, I like River Dogs a lot.
If you had to rank them, how would you rank the 5?
I'd go Pelicans last. You don't see Pelicans in Myrtle Beach. You see
Pelicans.
You know, like you don't see. I mean, what are you talking about here? So I'd go. Sorry, Myrtle Beach. I'm just saying. Myrtle Beach last.
Yep.
Oh God, you're gonna make us do this with the burgers.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think Green Jackets is 1.
I go Drive 5.
Okay.
I go Pelicans 4, Fireflies 3.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Spartanburgers 2, River Dogs 1.
And then you put 6 at
move everybody down. Green Jackets go 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Drive 6, Pelicans 5, Fireflies 4, Burgers 3, River Dogs 2, Green Jackets 1.
I'm not a fan of it. Not saying I'm not a fan of the Greenville Drive. The Drive mascot doesn't really do it for me. It's just
it's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring. You had a chance to pick something cool, but you didn't.
Burgers has grown on me. believe it or not.
Well, and now it feels dated too. The drive feels dated because they tried for a while to make all of the mascots automotive themed to tie in to all the automotive facilities and BMW and all that stuff. And then they just said, we're not going to do that. We're going to have team mascots that don't make a whole lot of sense. We're going to dive back into the outdoorsy side of the upstate of South Carolina, which doesn't fit. Swamp Rabbits. I'm sorry. The name sucks. Swamp Rabbits is dumb. Road Warriors was so much better, and you moved away from it.
What about Greenville, the Growl?
The Growl, yeah.
I like the Growl. I went to Growl games growing
Which I think
up.
was a dog. Was it a dog? What was the?
I think so. It sounds right.
Yeah, and then we had the Greenville Rhinos. Wasn't that the arena football team? The Rhinos.
You got me on that one. Sounds right. I'll go with you. I'll say, yeah, you're right. But a lot of good stuff, Tolos. It's Christmas in July. Snow's falling on the Jumbotron at Fifth Third Park. If you're making your way out, come see me. I am on the third base line. I will be roaming around during the interview with Tyson Jeffers in the 6 o'clock hour. Might walk up to the press box as well. So if you're here, if you're on the way, holler at me. Send me a tweet, message, and I'd love to see you. Take a picture with you.
And when we come back, let's take a whip around the biggest stories in sports. Our Daily Wires coming your way next.
before fan phone. This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
It's going to start filling up there at Fifth Third Park in Spartanburg, where Cole is for Christmas in July. Remember, the first 1,000 fans who come through the gates will get a Hub City Spartanburgers Christmas ornament. You'll also have a chance to meet Santa, who is running around the concourse. Big night out there, and of course, we appreciate Ingalls for making it all possible and having us out there on location. What else is happening in the sports world, Cole? We hadn't got to all of it today, even though there's not a lot this time of year. These are our Daily Wires. The buzz is that Seattle Seahawks have signed second-round NFL draft pick Nick Emanwari to a fully guaranteed rookie contract worth $11.6 million, making him the first player selected number 35 or later to ever get a fully guaranteed rookie contract.
That's big time, man.
Yeah, it is.
Going up to Seattle, they used to be known for that defense, and maybe they can bring it back with Nick.
This is a big one here, Cole. NFL Player Association Executive Director Lloyd Howell Jr. resigned yesterday, ending his embattled 2-year tenure as the leader of the union. In May, ESPN reported that the FBI was investigating the financial dealings of the NFLPA and Major League Baseball PA related to multi-billion-dollar group licensing firm One Team Partners. He was under scrutiny for his role as a part-time consultant for the Carlyle Group, one of the league-approved private equity firms seeking ownership in NFL teams. He was also under scrutiny for striking a confidentiality agreement with the NFL that hid from players the details of an arbitration decision, including a finding that league executives urged team owners to reduce guaranteed player compensation. And finally, he was under scrutiny for having been sued for sexual discrimination and retaliation in 2011.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, God, that's a lot. The biggie there, if I'm a player, and again, this is the executive of the NFLPA, was that he was urged to not tell players that owners wanted GMs to not fully guarantee contracts.
No brainer.
That's a big one. That's a big one. In case you missed it, the Steelers struck a 3-year, $123 million extension with T.J. Watt to make him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history again.
He deserves it. He's one of the best.
Donald Trump is considering an executive order that would require federal authorities at the National Labor Relations Board to clarify whether college athletes can be considered employees of their schools. The draft of this executive order states that employment status of college athletes should, quote, maximize the educational benefits and opportunities schools can provide through their athletic departments.
Can you, for those out there that just heard this for the first time, is that a positive in terms, or I mean, what go into depth on that a little bit?
It's hard to say because some sports leaders, some politicians have been trying to block athletes from obtaining employment rights. So they're just trying to clarify whether they're employees or not. But what could be positive for fans is that the quote maximize the educational benefits and opportunities. So if you make them employees, you can make a requirement of retaining your employment contract, maintaining certain grades, right? Maintaining academic standing.
Interesting. We'll see where that goes.
Not to scare you here, Cole, but extreme athlete Felix Baumgartner, the first skydiver to fall faster than the speed of sound during a 24-mile leap through the stratosphere a decade ago, died in a crash on Thursday. However, he was not skydiving, so you don't have to be too worried about that. He was paragliding, and he smashed into the side of a giant swimming pool that I guess had a big wall exposed.
I'm still doing it.
Attaboy. As Dewey mentioned earlier, the Atlanta Braves have made a move. They added right-hander Dane Dunning to their club after a late-night trade with the Texas Rangers. And finally, the Open is finished with day number 2. Bryson DeChambeau, who had an awful day one, had an amazing day two. He goes from 7 over on Thursday to a 6 under today. That means he is +1 overall and will make the cut.
You know what? I have to eat a little crow on that. Bryson made me eat crow. I still think this tournament's over. I still think it's Scotty's to lose. But Bryson, that was impressive, man. 65, is that what he shot? I mean, that really is. It's big stuff.
Yeah, big day.
Let's go back, and in case you missed it, we always love doing in case you missed it. Tyson Jeffers, the GM of the Spartan Burgers, will have that for you next.
Thank you.